Hello, everybody. Yo, let me bring this down, man. This is like, my hairline looks like it's... Okay, now I have a normal forehead. Yeah, this is going to be about chronic pain. For people that are dealing with chronic pain, man, how you guys doing? Well, that's kind of a bad question because we're not doing good. Don't ask a person in chronic pain how they're doing. Actually, it's funny now that I'm, talking, like, I realize when somebody asks me, I'm always just like, yeah, I'm whatever. I'm all right. It's hard. It is hard. Just to give you my qualifications in chronic pain, I've been dealing with it for over, 10, 15 years now. It's my right side. Like, I've had injuries starting from my ankle to my hip, my back, my knee. I had my gallbladder removed in the past couple of years. It's just my whole right side. I have pain from like head to toe, nerve pain and like just aching and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm just letting you know I'm qualified to talk about this. And what it does to your mind, how it changes you over the years. Like, I'm able to talk about it now after all this time. But for any of you guys that are going through it, you know how it is when your life changes. From the point where you're just like a normal person, you're pain-free, you're not thinking about things, you're just living your life. And then now all of a sudden you have this injury and the pain won't stop. It may not be like a level 9 out of 10, but it's maybe you have a 3, you have a 4 or a 5. That's just all the time. Like, this is how it's going to be. And what it does to your mind. When I first found out about it, I just couldn't stop going to the doctors. I couldn't stop trying to figure out what was going on. It turned me into just like a researcher, constantly trying to figure things out and going so deep into health that like you become like that annoying person around everybody else. Well, this isn't good for you and that's not good and you got to be sleeping like this and you got to be doing like that. And then you become that person. Meanwhile, you're the one with the problems. Nobody else has them. So they're like, why would I listen to this guy? I'm fine. I'm just talking about this because I know there's people out there that deal with it. And, man, that is the one. So, yeah, when you live with this long term, you realize over time you have to develop a strong mind. And one of the silver linings from this is, there's more than one. Is that you start to notice that it's not just you, that other people suffer too. That other people go through chronic pain. And there's more to people than your judgment of them. And maybe sometimes it's even taken me into spiritual depths and thinking, okay, maybe I was meant to experience this, to have these realizations, to realize that others suffer too. And okay, you might call it a coping mechanism, whatever it is, it's a mechanism, but it is a positive thing that you learn being in society. Because I'm far more attuned to my mother, my father, if they're dealing with injuries, they're going through things, where you notice little things. If my mom has a shoulder injury, let me get the door. Let me do this. Let me do that. Put that dish down. Let me pick that up. You start to become attuned to other people because you realize, or at least for me, I realized what it feels like to be in pain, to have an injury. I've had so many injuries, man. And what it does to your mind, the sadness, the grief, you have to let go of old identities. Bro, this guy that's revving his car, man, I hate people that do that have these little like dinky Hondas. Anyway. Yeah, the identity that you have to leave behind. I used to, dude, when I was young, I used to do martial arts. I used to run track. I used to play tennis. I wrestled for a year. I loved being active. I loved going to then I got into going to the gym, and I loved doing that. And all of this has had to stop because of this chronic pain, my right side. I still try to do whatever little I can. I make sure I walk a lot as a compensation of not being able to do like vigorous activity. But as a man, you feel to not be able to exert your physical presence in the gym or in sports. It's devastating. It's devastating, and you have to reorganize your mind. Eventually, after all the tears are shed, after you run out, and then you're like, okay, well, I got to do something now. What am I going to be if I can't be this? So you find new ways of inventing yourself. I do. At least I'm trying to talk to people through here about my experiences. When you have chronic pain, it's 24/7. It's not business hours, and then okay, we'll just give you a break. We'll give you weekends to go relax, and then you go Monday through Friday. You have your pain. No, it's not like that. It's you are in pain pretty much all the time. Maybe it fluctuates. You have better days and you have worse days, but it's there, and you have to learn. And it's hard, so hard, because it led me into escape. You just want to escape reality. It led me into a lot of bad places. Escapism, and then when you come back from escapism, you realize, okay, this pain is still here. These problems are still here. Then there's the dealing with all the doctors and the healthcare system, and you realize in America how much pain there is just because of the system creates, through how expensive it is, through how much delay there is in the process, through how doctors don't try to always figure out the root cause. They try to numb the symptoms and have you just deal with that. And how you have to become your own researcher of your own body. I've gone to so many different doctors, man, over the years, and still I deal with pain that's not explained. And I'll continue searching. That's one thing I'll say to people. Like, I've gone through periods where I said, you know what, I don't care. I'm just going to live the way I am. I don't want to go to the doctors. And I would do that for like a year or something. And eventually something would get worse or whatever it is. And you can't stop. You have to keep searching. You have to keep trying. You have to become super intuitive or connected to your body and be a listener of your body. And that's where escapism really doesn't help, because you don't listen to yourself. You're not just sitting and listening to yourself. And what that means is, like, sometimes you just sit quietly and think and let your mind just process. I ate that thing and I felt, I'm feeling a certain pain. What did I eat before this? Or I did this activity and this happened. Or these past couple of days I've done this and now I'm feeling like this. Becoming your own scientist to help manage your problems. And we have to accept reality as opposed to escape it when you have these kind of problems. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this. I'm just talking as these ideas come to me, but it's so hard, man. What it does to you over the long term, what it does to your mind. I'm just taking a moment, man, because I don't want to I don't want to get emotional, but when you think about all the years, all the energy that's been spent, all the things that you've missed out on because of your health, it hurts a lot. And the only way that I can, in my mind, like, balance it out is by trying to help somebody else. When it's chronic, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can only do what you can and then seek help. But try to help others that are going through it as well. So if you're out there, you're dealing with chronic pain, man, like, you're not alone. It feels like we are, but we're not. Oh, you know what's another thing? This is kind of maybe a little bit on the lighter side. It's a little bit funny, I guess. But when you're vulnerable, you are open to trying anything. I can laugh at it now after like so many years. But you're sort of like open to like all these random remedies. You're open to getting fooled because you're suffering so much. You're like, maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. Oh, if you try dog poo, if you lick dog poo, or you apply dog poo to your, I'm being ridiculous to make a point, but like, people would try crazy things when they're suffering and they're vulnerable, and a lot of it is stress too. That's the other element of this, is that these injuries, they bring you into a negative space. They made me sad. They made me negative about life. They made me hopeless. They made me not want to enjoy. And over time, I realized, no, I have to. I still have to be positive. I still have to show up and participate in life. And manage my stress and try to stay away from things that cause me stress. All I got to say to people that are going through this is stay strong. Stay strong. Keep fighting. Keep looking for a cure, for a treatment, for a remedy, for a new technique, a new way of doing things that can help alleviate your suffering. And then try to be around other people. Don't isolate. Oh man, this is another thing I did. I would isolate myself. I'm not healthy. What am I gonna do? I can't do these things that I can't go on a hike with my friends. I can't travel. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then I would isolate myself, not realizing that my friends are nice people and they are willing to accommodate. And people will, if they're your good friends, hey, we can just hang out and sit. We don't have to do anything crazy. Just let's be together. Finding good people is honestly being around others will help alleviate suffering. Just because the hormones that are released, the oxytocin that's released, some of the, I think maybe serotonin or some positive, hormones that are released that help, that are analgesic, have the effect of maybe reducing the feeling of the pain. And just not being, sometimes just the awareness, our attention going to our pain makes it worse. When you're doing something else that takes your focus away from yourself and to others, and yeah, you might be in pain, but you're not as conscious of it. So these are things that I've been doing over the course of these last 10, 15 years, slowly. More so in the last 3-4 years, trying to get better and be better about it. But it's hard, man. It's extremely, extremely hard. And it's just made me attuned to the suffering of others. And it's made me want to, be in a path of life where I help others. Be in a path of life where maybe I can bring others relief because I know what it feels like. Whether it's physical, whether it's even just emotional, social, whatever it is, to make others feel better. That's, maybe that's the message, that's the lesson. But it's also made me look into healthcare and look at and be critical of America, be critical of our food here, be critical of our system. I did a video a couple days ago about the FDA and who they're actually funded by, and the treatments that are in place in our medical system. How, when you go to the doctor, they don't ask you about your diet. They don't ask you about your sleep. They don't ask you about your stress. They don't ask you about your social life. These pillars of health, you know, they don't talk about it. And when you're dealing with chronic pain, they become so much more critical that you can't like compensate them for something or like replace them with something else. But yeah, this is a long enough video, but this is for everybody out there who deals with chronic pain. I just wanted to talk about all the things we go through, and but ultimately for the message to be that let's stay strong, let's keep trying, and let's not isolate ourselves, and let's try to participate in life as much as we possibly, like, as you know, to the best that we can, and keep fighting, keep trying to find a way to reduce our pain. All right. So I wish you guys all the best, whoever's dealing with this, and I pray that, you know, we all, you know, find some relief. All right. Bye, guys.